Hi everyone, thank you. I'm Chandan. With me, I have Chavi. Both of us will talk about the AI hub that we have. Now, I'd like to start with a disclaimer. The AI hub that I am talking about, the AI that I'm talking about, stands for Agile Innovation and not Artificial Intelligence, which my colleague just spoke about. So it's slightly different. I would rather put it as this AI is the actual AI, which is artificial intelligence plus plus. All right. So and I'll talk about in a moment why I'm saying it's artificial intelligence plus plus. But AI Hub, what we have, it's a latest capability that we've developed in Unilever. It's an enterprise approach to innovation, which keeps Unilever future fit. It helps us grow ahead of the market. We'll talk about AI Hub. We'll talk about few use cases, and Chavi will probably help me in doing that. But before we do that, let's take a step back. Why AI Hub? What's actually making us do this? Because for donkey years we've been doing marketing, we've been launching innovations, and we've been doing pretty good. So why suddenly doing something different? Throughout the day, we've been listening about how the consumer context has changed, right? So the explosion of digital and blah, 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 we spoke about, in the panel, we heard about 640 million internet phones, smartphones, et cetera, et cetera. What is this leading to? This leading to, a very, very evolved consumer base. Our consumers have evolved. So earlier, our consumers were okay with whatever marketeers or marketing organizations used to give them. But now they're spoiled for choices. They're becoming more and more flirt. The loyalty levels are going down. And they're experimenting. They're very much open to experiment. And with digital commerce and everything, products are available to them probably in a day's delivery. So all that is happening, which means a marketer needs to ensure that we are serving to them what they need. They need custom tailored product. I cannot probably think of one product that I can bring here and all of you would purchase. No, you will all have different preferences, and we'll have to make cohorts of how that happens. So that's my first problem. But Madhvan in one of the panel discussions also spoke about the number of launches. I don't know how many of you remember the number that he quoted, but he said 9,400 launches in 6 months. So yes, there are a lot of launches that are happening, but alas, if you look at the success parameters and if you compare them with what the business case has been, the success of those launches still remain in low single digits, which basically means that a product to launch, yes, you can launch many products, but if that product does not cater to a deep-rooted consumer need, eventually it will fail. So the role of insights is there, but it has to be faster. And the last point is that these trends keep on changing very fast. So what I need yesterday would be very different from what I need today. And if I tell you today that I need this thing, by the time tomorrow you come with that product, I'll say probably I've moved on. I don't need it anymore, right? So it's changing. So the three challenges that we have is, one, consumers want customized solutions. Second, innovations have to be deep-rooted, have deep-rooted consumer insights, and they have to be real-time because consumers are losing their patience. They will move on. Their preferences will change. Now, that's one part of the problem, but being Unilever, we are #1 marketing organization, and we just don't want to stay with the trend. We actually want to be the trendsetters. We want to be ahead of the trends, and we want to say, okay, we will create trends. So the only way to do it is by staying always on. Gone are the days when a marketer will give a brief to a researcher, and the researcher will do the brief and then come back and do. That's a very long process. We have to cut it short, and we have to stay always on. So that's the need of AI Hub. Sorry, I don't have a clicker. Okay. Can you go to the next slide? So with that approach, we created AI Hub. AI Hub, as I said, is the Agile Innovation Hub. It, of course, brings a lot of tech, and we'll talk about the tech. But the magic is not about the tech. And this is something that I want to stress on. The magic is about the people, right? So what it does is it brings cross-functional people together in one room to deliver a magic through tech being the single thread that's holding all of them together. And that's the actual essence of AI Hub. At this point, I would actually like to show you a very small 90-second video just to bring it alive to you guys.
Sound.
Can we switch on the audio, please?
Audio.
What we are doing with our Agile Innovation Hub.
We are now analyzing consumer trends to envisage need gaps and envision products that cater to these needs.
Can we restart this video, please?
Can you restart?
Imagine a world where you could reimagine tomorrow, where agility and innovation combine to unlock speed and maximize impact through the power of digital and AI-based solutions. At Hindustan Unilever, that's precisely what we are doing with our Agile Innovation Hub. We are now analyzing consumer trends to envisage need gaps and envision products that cater to these needs. This is made possible by our in-house artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities, wherein we spot millions of ideas and trends in the market. Past historic innovations help screen these trends, revealing a more filtered shortlist, followed by testing through our in-house screening tool, Idea Swipe. Then, we size the ideas appealing to consumers to
That's Murphy's laws on the play.
Okay,
Nevertheless, can we go to the next slide, maybe? Okay, so and I was talking about what is AI Hub. AI Hub is basically that innovation accelerator that combines tech and that human touch and bring us capability where we can stay ahead of the market by being first to bring the products that consumers want. What it essentially does is three things. And if we talk about an innovation of the product, typically as researchers we will think about the consumer insights and the research, but if you think about those 2-year cycle when the products in which the product is launched, there is a research product, there is a product development, there is a product testing, and so forth. So what we said is that this has to be a capability which brings everything together. Few things can move parallelly, few things can do, might have to be moved sequentially, but eventually end-to-end product delivery in a very in a very fast time. So it's from a very brief based approach. As I said, it makes it very proactive from a sequential, siloed working of different functions. It talks about being automated, very, very collaborative working, and finally, and this was a very big unlock for us as Unilever from thinking of big launches, thinking of gold projects, to saying, okay, if we are going to launch customized products for small niche or segments, you have to be agile. You have to have capability of launching and, having very small business cases also. And that's what we call as, making the elephant dance. So that's what we did. And ultimate goal was to make Unilever a trend setter and not just being a trend follower. With that, we launched this AI Hub, and the challenges that it helps us are, it makes us an efficient organization by reducing the time to innovation by more than 80%. It helps us keeping a tab on consumer pulse on a real-time basis, so I know what my consumer needs, how my consumer of Mumbai is different from consumer of Pune versus consumer of Nashik, and so forth. And finally, it brings all functions together, because that's the key. People are the key. So, I actually would like to say that, it's the people that will create the magic. Tech will only be an enabler, and that's what we genuinely believe in too. So you can go to the next slide, please. And that's how, if you look at, this is something which most of you who've spent few years and grade their hair in the industry would, understand that typically an innovation period used to be close to 2 years. We used to call it an 8-quarter cycle. Now it's moving to 100 days with, a lot of things getting packed, a lot of things happening parallelly. And we've actually delivered it, and we'll talk about a few examples that we've done. And now we are taking the next step of saying, okay, can we reduce the 100 days further to 6 weeks? And we are piloting that. So that's how AI Hub, and when you have the tech ready, when you have the platform ready, you can actually start doing it, to find efficiencies there. So that's what it does. And I've spoken about, how it's basically a growth driver for the organization. So just to talk about AI Hub's specifics of what are the sections and how we work on it, I'm going to request Chavi to talk about it.
Thanks,
Chavi,
Chandan.
over to you.
So now we'll go into a little more detail on how AI Hub functions. And as Chandan pointed out, that the sole purpose with which we started the journey was to identify the right trends and to act upon them in time and launch an innovation within 100 days. And with that objective, we knew that we have to reduce time when it comes to trend spotting as well as mix creation and testing. And with that in mind, we created actually 3 legs within AI Hub, as you can see here. One being inspire, second create, and third experience. And I will speak about each of them a little more in detail. Moving on. So first section, the Inspire section, is actually led by the Consumer Insights team. And what it does is basically it brings together social listening, AI algorithm, and stunning data visualizations to identify the trends early on, be it an ingredient, format, benefit spaces across geographies, categories, and channels. And with bringing all these different data points all together in a single workflow, it really helps us take decisions much, much faster. I can actually say that from months of discussion, we've been able to cut down the discussion or the timeline to a day at Agile Innovation Hub. Let me play a video which will give you more information about the same.
Imagine a world where data, technology, and AI enable you to not just discover real-time trends, but also predict future trends and target the biggest business opportunities in an always-on fashion. This is now possible with AI Hub's Inspire pillar. For the first time in Unilever, AI Hub brings together data sets from CMI People Data Center, Smart Data, and R&D to create an integrated digital workflow that combines social and business analytics, market analysis with artificial intelligence, and machine learning techniques. This allows brands to spot trends on ingredients, formats, and benefits across geographies and categories, identify market opportunities and white spaces, define pack price architecture, and understand market data and consumer sentiments, all in a matter of minutes. This journey sets off with the Trend Wall, where an integrated dashboard combines consumer search and e-commerce market data from powerful tools like TrendWatch and Turing, and leverages Athena's AI algorithms to spot, screen, and size trends and business opportunities across categories, geographies, and channels in an always-on mode. Athena's geo-tracking capability enables us to identify paths on which trends travel and thus predict a trend before it arrives in a particular geography. Once the trend has been identified, the marketplace allows users to scan and visualize the vast global databases of Mintel and PCE for more than 500,000 competition and Unilever products, giving insight on formats, ingredients, claims, pack price architecture, all in a few seconds. And once we've decoded the trend and product fit, it's the KYC which allows us to dig deep into consumer sentiments, market and competition data analytics, and make sharp choices to ensure we place our bet on the innovation that has the maximum chances of in-market success. With these state-of-the-art capabilities at AI Hub, innovation teams can gather all relevant data in minutes and find answers to key business questions, thereby vastly shrinking ideation timelines from weeks to a single day, thus enabling Unilever to stay ahead of the competition on emerging trends.
Okay. This was about the first section of the Agile Innovation Hub. So once we are able to spot trends, what we need to turn around now is the time we spend in creation and really launching in the market. So when it comes to create sections, we have worked closely with the R&D team who is leading the section to really understand the designing of and do the design exploration, leverage predictive data models, as well as decision trees to help us get into the product exploration stage much, much, much faster. So I will again play a video which will show you the fragrance bit of it. Within the create section, we have a different legs, with one being on fragrance, one helping with packaging, and all these come together for us to launch innovation much, much faster in the market within 100 days.
Did you know that we have over 2,500 fragrances across HBPC, and yet, when it comes to exploring a trending ingredient or launching a new variant, we often end up creating a new fragrance. Finding the perfect fragrance that delights consumers is a challenge, even for Type 1 and Type 2 projects. To even sample the fragrance, Often imported RMs are not available with fragrance suppliers in Mumbai. Several interim shortlists occur between fragrance suppliers, fragrance managers and stakeholders to reach the right hedonic for the project. Moreover, prototyping for early consumer tests could take weeks if not months. Thus, an end-to-end briefing cycle takes 6 to 8 weeks before prototypes are locked. Surely we can speed things up, right? Enter Fragrance Library at AI Hub. Using the digital and physical fragrance library at Mumbai's Agile Innovation Hub, fragrance managers and project teams will be able to come up with the perfect fragrance for a project in a couple of weeks. Here's how. Step 1. As custodians of the fragrance portfolio and the fragrance briefing process, Unilever fragrance managers working anywhere in the world will shortlist a set of relevant fragrances using you-sent information coupled with their understanding of consumer hedonic preferences. You-sent's digital catalog documents Unilever's entire fragrance portfolio and allows for cross-pollination across categories. Step 2. To evaluate the shortlisted set, project teams visit the AI Hub physical library, which houses all 2,500 fragrance samples in a neutral format. An automated robot fetches the samples in a matter of seconds. Teams can then smell the options and provide inputs using a digital feedback capturing tool. Fragrance managers can access this feedback remotely and narrow down fragrance options for prototyping. Step 3. The shortlisted fragrance samples arrive at the R&D lab the next day for prototyping. Our DHL warehouse facility will maintain 100 ml inventory for each of the 2,500 positive list fragrances. Step 4. With the help of an always-on panel, the project team can get an early read on prototypes in a few days and potentially lock prototypes for launch or for further quantitative validation. Thus, from brief to final fragrance in less than 2 to 3 weeks. Now that's some serious agile innovation.
It's not going back.
That doesn't work.
Okay. So this would have actually summed up how agile innovation is working. We gave you just an example of how Fragrance Suite itself is working, and in similar lines we see other modules also coming together to help expedite our timelines on product innovation. With this, you also saw that how we are enhancing our consumer testing approach with leveraging always on panel and hence saving some time there. Overall, Agile Innovation Hub together comes and helps us really connect into all this. In fact, to create in-house videos, how to do videos for product demos, for social content on new launches, we have in-house facility within Agile Innovation Hub, which helps us get into the market much faster within 100 days. Now I'll actually ask Chandan to take you through the impact that it has been created before we close the session.
Sure. Okay. So last point, I think we've actually launched a lot of products based on the output of AI Hub, and Serums is one of that. 2-3 points actually. One, we've been ahead of the market in terms of launch. The products, because they've been consumer validated, they've actually performed very well. The average ratings have been 4+, and they are meeting their business cases. And the way we've developed this capabilities, we start slow with 3D printing and all, and as the product is successful or not, because the reality is that not every innovation will succeed. So we do that, and then we, in another 100 days, we are able to make a very firm decision what to pivot, scale, or kill. I think that's also very important to be honest to yourself, keep your hand on the heart and say, yes, this is not going to work and we have to just kill the product. So that's what is happening. But I want to summarize by saying, what's happening in the background? What is it that we should take away from this? One, if we have to really evolve it, entire system has to move together. That's one. Second, as researchers, it's our duty to stay and support the business and give them the insights that they need with speed. But that doesn't mean that the depth of the insights can be shallow. It has to be deep-rooted consumer need. Then only your innovations will work. And Lastly, I think this is going to be, going to be the way of mining insight, maybe in some nuanced form across industries. It is not something that's going to stay with one company, one category, or one industry. It's going to be something with the way the research industry is going to move on. So that's what we feel. So with that, thank you, and we are very open for questions. Do we have questions?
Yeah. So thank you so much, Chandan and Chavi. We do have one question for you. I'll just read it out. While you're reducing go-to-market timeline with Agile Innovation, how much extra heavy lifting goes in supply chain to roll back or install new launches and align seller or retailer?
That's a good question. And so look, this has always been a challenge. And we've always thought about that for a company like HUL, we will only move for something which is huge and which gives us scale. And that's been a conversation that we've done. And now with this, with the possibility of doing only digital-only launches or launching only in a specific geography, we've actually started building capabilities of doing very niche launches. And that's why, and plus we've been able to forecast much better, so to say that, this is where we want to sell and this is how much we'll make. And as I said, then after 100 days, we decide whether to pivot, kill, or scale up, right? So we are also trying to ensure that our take-backs or, the pressure on supply chain is as minimum as possible. Sorry. Any further questions?
Yeah, we do have one more. So the success number of new product launch is in single digit as stated by the team. Is there an efficiency loss due to AI and timelines?
So look, actually, if I have to be very honest, the success ratio of innovation, if you look with AI Hub or without AI Hub, still remains in low single digits. What we are trying to do with what we are doing is to increase it. I think the target can be, if I have to just say, I don't have a fixed target, but in my mind, what the number that comes right now is that 10, can we ensure the 10% innovation success rate? So we actually start with double digits. But what we've seen is that innovation success rate with AI Hub is, a bit better only than, without AI Hub. So I don't think that's a challenge.
If I may just add, because Agile Innovation Hub allows us to launch on-trend innovation and be a trendsetter rather than follower, because in the hurdle of Me Too's, when you see the number of launches, the true innovations which address a consumer need tend to be more successful. Yeah. And hence tapping on-trend ingredients or on-trend benefit segments is what will help us have increase our success ratio.
Okay, and we have one last question. Can you cite a specific example on how a new idea was executed and launched using the AI Hub? Most AI or ML models are self-evolving and iterative. The market response may still be much different from the model predictions.
So it does take into account the machine learning, and as you are saying, it is iterative. So is the case here. But what we have trained the system is the past research, the past in-market success, failures, and hence it is much more robust. We keep on training it as we go along. Was there another part to it?
Okay.
The example is serum example.
Yeah, if I have to give an example, so the video didn't play completely, but we were showing an example which I'll just talk about. So we did launch our vitamin C serum through Agile Innovation Hub. So when we identified, serum as a format is increasing, vitamin C as an ingredient is much more, gaining traction. That is when we launched vitamin serum, and we quickly turned it around within a few months, unlike earlier times when we'll take 2 years to launch an innovation.
That is it, I think.
You.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.